Hi, it's me again. Today we're going to go over our first goal is to ask and answer questions. That's standard 3.1. So by the end of this presentation, you should be able to ask and answer questions about your stories. Good readers can ask and answer questions about the text. When answering questions, they use RACE. Okay, what does RACE mean? Here's what I mean. R means restate part of the question. A, answer all parts of the question. C, cite evidence from the text. And E, explain your evidence. First, to restate, when you answer a question, you start by restating part of the question. I should know what the question was just by reading your answer. For example, if the question was what character trait best describes Tony, you would change those words around and say, the character trait that best describes Tony is, and then you would put your answer after that. In the story Marisol McDonald Doesn't Match, what character trait best describes Marisol? The character trait that best describes Marisol is she doesn't match. So you try. What is the setting of the story? How would you change that around to make it a statement and answer your question? The setting of the story is, and then you would add whatever setting after that. So in Marisol McDonald, the setting of the story is the playground, her school, depending on what part of the story you're reading. Why was Matt angry? Matt was angry because Steve took his ball. Where was Jill hiding? We change that around to say Jill was hiding under the desk. The second part is answer all parts of the question. Some questions actually include more than one part. You want to make sure to answer the entire question. For example, what is the problem and solution in the story? That's a two-part question. The problem was that, or the solution was that. So for the problem in Marisol McDonald, the problem was that Marisol didn't match. The solution was Marisol tried to match. What can you do to be certain that you have answered all parts of a question? Cite evidence from the text. That's a fancy way of saying that you need to give a reason for your answer from the text. For example, what time of day did the story take place? Restate that. The story took place, or you could say, I know this because the text said. So let's use Marisol McDonald Doesn't Match. The story took place during the day. Or the story took place at school. I know this because Marisol was at lunch and her friends were at recess. That takes place at school. So, ways to write your text evidence. These are just ways you could start your sentence. My favorite is, the story said. You could also say, I know this because the text said, or according to the text, and you may be able to think of others. Explain your evidence is the last part. After you give evidence from the text, you want to explain why that proves your answer is correct. Good news is we're not going to worry about explaining our evidence right now. We will practice the R, the A, and the C and come back to explaining later. So let's practice. The doctor keeps saying that the shot will not hurt. Mom keeps telling me the shot will keep me from getting sick later. I hear them, but I'm still nervous. The doctor asks if I'm ready. I look at Mom and she gives me a nod. I close my eyes and tell the doctor that I am as ready as I will ever be. A moment later I hear a rapper. I open my eyes just as the doctor is putting a Band-Aid on my arm. He's already done. I didn't feel a thing. I can't believe I was so nervous over something so small. Question: did the shot hurt the author? Okay, how would I change that around? The shot didn't hurt the author. So there's my answer. First I restated, I answered the question. Now I need to find evidence in the text. The sentence that's right here, I didn't feel a thing. That's the evidence in the text. And I know because the story said, I didn't feel a thing. Watch this as many times as you need to get this down. Thanks. See you later.